Here we are, Flash. All right. Are you caught up in Flash?
Yes.
All right. This show's gotten good.
I am very disappointed.
Why are you disappointed?
I love what they're doing with Ebar Thawne and the whole Dr.
Wells.
What the fuck's his? Yeah, Wells. I love how they're playing that out.
It took us all season to get his name right. We finally got Ebar Thawne properly.
If they wouldn't have ran like a trailer before the episode last week, I'd still be lost on Dr. Wells' actual real name. The fact that the chick was the one that was the last one to sign up and say, "Oh wait, you're right," that was like okay. The fact that Barry was that easily fooled after having run in to the Mimic before. Holy shit. Please stop writing Barry as if he is a 12-year-old boy.
What do you mean ran into the Mimic?
You are killing me. When Eddie showed up at his house and he's like, "Oh, Eddie, you're out." Come on. Everybody knew that wasn't Eddie when he showed up at his door.
Yeah.
Everybody knew.
It's true, but
Don't write your character dumb. He's supposed
okay.
to be, he's supposed
gullible.
to be a brilliant forensic scientist. And it's just like, "Oh, Eddie, I just broke you out, but I put you back, but now you're here. Yay!" Come on. And the girl should have known immediately as soon as Barry kissed her that not Barry.
Yeah, you
But
do have a point.
She secretly does want Barry. We all know that. That's
yeah,
good.
she got drunk and tried to get in his pants, basically.
Yeah. So. Hey, he could have been out like a flash. Other than that,
I love what this show's been. I do understand your point. He should that. As soon as the door knocked, I'm like, yeah, that's the Mimic.
that's the movie.
That's totally the Mimic. And
That killed me. That pissed me off so bad. I was sitting here watching with my wife, and I'm like, please don't make him that stupid. Let him figure it out. Let him figure it out. Let him figure it out. And he gets knocked out. It's like, I don't know who that is. Wow.
Sometimes I always get confused about Flash. Is it just? Can he just be fast when he has to concentrate and do it, or is he just fast all the time? The reason why I say that, like, whenever he goes to hit him with the gun, he wasn't looking when that happened, was he?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
He hit him
Let me go something else here. Like whenever he's fighting the Mimic, yeah, and before he turns into the Flash, just when they're like fighting in general. If he's always, does he have to think about, okay, now I gotta go fast mode. Okay, now you're punching me very slowly. I can move out of the way, or is it always there and he's just so pig-headed or so just really sloppy with his job of being the Flash that he just doesn't pay attention to it?
Well, we've already established with the Arrow Flash crossover that Barry is sloppy.
Well, yeah,
very sloppy. The other thing, I would actually have to say that he has to think to slow down, not speed up.
Okay, I get what you're saying there, but then you would think that everything would be in slow motion in general. So when the guy goes to punch him, it would just be in slow motion. He would get his face out of the way so the guy can't hit him.
See, now that's one thing I'm very confused on.
Yeah.
Just with the character of the Flash
I love the show. These things bother me when it comes to the dynamic of the superhero.
Well, I haven't read the comic, but with the dynamic of the character, my thought process is if you can move really fast, you can also process very fast.
Think really fast.
So therefore, the world around you, since you can perceive everything at a higher sensitivity at a time, should actually operate slower constantly.
Like everything would be slower to you. Even sounds would get to you slower, and you would know where. Okay, I'm gonna cross over for 2 seconds. Like Daredevil, he can sense where everything comes from based on echolocation, which I have an issue with that, and I'll get to that here in a minute. But
he's like a bat.
Well, okay, I'll say this for 2 seconds. If someone's going to hit you and you're blind, yes, it just seems like you're super reactive, and here's why. If you're waiting for a sound to bounce back and tell you where everything is, like if I'm going to hit you, you have to wait as the guy getting hit for the reaction of a sound bouncing back to tell you where the fist is coming from. You're waiting on a sound to do that. So you're always reactionary, not proactive in doing things. That makes sense or no?
Yes and no, and the reason I say that is because
I know we're off the topic of Flash here. Sorry, internet. But
when he was exposed to the toxic ooze that made him what he is, I'm assuming that that's what it was.
They don't say it in the show yet.
Yeah, well,
They haven't said it. So
whatever toxic ooze that made him what he is, it took away one sense and heightened every other sense.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Sensation, hearing, smell, taste, the whole 9 yards. My only thing would be is if his sense of touch is heightened, he can honestly feel the back pressure of the guy's heel striking the floor as he goes back to drive into the punch.
Okay.
Now, I understand what you're saying. You don't know where which direction the punch is going, because when you do that, you have literally like a foot window.
The way echolocation works. The sound goes like this and bounces back and tells you where the item is.
I'm just telling you echolocation is his only power. I'm saying he could feel it in his heels when the guy put his heel down on the floor to drive the punch.
But
so he knows the punch
is coming from.
He knows the punch is coming, but yes, I'm agreeing with you that he doesn't know.
And granted, sound travels a lot faster than your stupid punch. I mean, like 1,000 times faster. A lot faster. I don't know how much.
But if his hearing is that sensitive,
okay,
even that moving through the air.
I mean,
I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't read.
I kind of want to just close my eyes for like a week and try to figure out how he does this.
You haven't been exposed to the ooze.
I have not, but apparently normal people can do that just by echolocation.
Okay.
Because they're hearing sound. Sorry, back to Flash.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
You get some toxic ooze, 4 turtles, and a rat, and let me know how that turns out for you.
I will.
Because if you're going to do it, you might as well finish the dream.
Okay. Sorry, back to Flash. So they discovered Dr. Wells' original body.
So everybody knows that Dr. Wells is Eobard Thawne from 300 years ago.
The cop doesn't know yet, but he pretty much has it figured out. He pretty much has it figured out, but he doesn't know who. He hasn't figured out that he's not who he says he is. But he doesn't know. At the end of the episode...
No, he doesn't. No, nobody knows who he actually is. They just know he's not who he says he is.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Well, Cisco kind of knows, because he sees it as a dream.
I want to see how they're going to fix that, because I'm thinking that because he was in with the reactor at the time of whatever failed and caused fucking shit to fly out into the atmosphere, I'm thinking Cisco was affected, but he was affected completely differently than everyone else, and that's why his past life and his present life or his alternate life and his current life are fusing. Like, I think.
Well, he sees it as dreams, is what he said.
Yeah, but no one else is having that problem. No one else is having that problem. I'm thinking.
But you're having things said that were said in the dream.
I'm thinking
that's what's spawning it.
I think Cisco. No, I think Cisco might even be like a little bit powered in
things that were said in his dream are being said in real life, and that's spawning the memory of what happened. Say your dad.
Yeah, we'll finish this. I'll call back.
Okay. But that's what happened. Things that were said in Cisco, in the ultimate reality of what happened, were said in there that had been said in this reality. And that spawns some kind of, I guess that would be dark matter effect. That's dark matter. Dark matter bridge of that event that is still in his cerebral, but it's kind of being unlocked because of the association of those, what was said in this time to that time. It's exactly the same, like, words from exactly the same person. Like he always said, I always thought of you like a son, Cisco. That was said in this right before he killed him.
I noticed that, but I just still think it has to have, with the way they're writing the story and everything having to do with the particle accelerator, I'm going to have to assume that something happened to Cisco in that, and maybe he didn't get all of it. Maybe he just got enough of it that maybe he doesn't have like a precognition, but maybe he can see the other side, because that would be perfect for DC to set up Infinity Crisis or Crisis of Infinite Earths, whichever one you want to go with.
Okay. Can I counter this a little bit?
Oh, I don't
The reason why, like, for example, not Laurel, what's her name? The black chick. I can't remember her name right now. Damn it. The officer's daughter.
We're going to start writing shit down.
We're going to have to start writing her names down. What's the name's daughter?
Yeah, we're too lazy to look it up if you can't tell.
What's her name's daughter? The black cop's daughter. I can't believe it. Iris. She doesn't remember because no one has said anything that happened in that time, that area from there to there. That's why there's no correlation for her. Now, you might be right. I'm just
You're
saying.
making the assumption that there will be a correlation for her, and then all of a sudden she'll be back in love with Barry again. But she's so pissed off at Eddie at this point in time that might happen.
I thought Eddie kind of explained that why he's been so distant.
Because he's working with Barry. I don't think she bought it. And here's my argument against the way people write characters. If you're really going to put it into a story that a cop is dating a reporter, then that cop is going to be very, very guarded, especially since she's already used things that he's said in stories for her little page, her blog page before she was hired at the newspaper. So you would have to understand why your husband would be guarded in that situation, because you can't just come home and talk about the name of the perp, why you busted him, everyone you busted with him, and everything that went down because of it. Yeah. You can just say you busted a drug dealer tonight, and that's the end of the conversation. You can't go into detail, because then you're doing something that could ruin the case against that individual. And you would think someone as intelligent as the character of Iris is written would know that.
Yeah.
There's where my problems with the show come in, is they're starting to get very unrealistic with my expectations of the characters, because they started out writing to a very intelligent audience, and quite honestly, the last 2 episodes have not been written to my intelligence, and it makes me very sad.
To a degree.
I'm not going to say they dumbed it down to like 5-year-old level, but they really have dropped off on making the characters viably intelligent.
Barry is just lately has just come off as very. How do I want to put this?
I'll buy distracted, but not so distracted that 5 minutes
gullible
later
would be a better word I would see. Like very gullible.
But you're not
things that you don't think that you think a superhero at some like here's a big difference in Oliver and Barry is Oliver is always on his toes. No matter where he is, he's always aware of everything around him. He doesn't even have superpowers to help him with this awareness.
Yeah, but Oliver's paranoid of the universe. Everybody's out to get him.
That's
Barry
true.
loves the universe and wants everybody to love him. They're like the antithesis of each other. Except for they're both like kind of fast. Well, one's really fast, the other one's pretty fast. That would be my only complaint of the show so far. I love the plot. I for the most part, I love the characters. The last 2 episodes have been so lackluster at best as far as character development and writing. It drives me insane. Now seeing the detective hang out with the captain and have a conversation was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that with Cisco hanging out and not West, Detective. It's the other Flash's name. Yeah.
Lance. Detective Lance.
Yeah.
Or Captain Lance.
No, not Captain Lance. I'm talking about Iris's dad. It's the other Flash's last name. Joe
West.
Yeah, Barry Allen, Joe West. Yeah, okay.
Or Wally West is the other Flash.
Yes, yeah, that's where I was going with that. I think that's going to come up a lot farther down
the road.
Apparently
they're mixing both together. They're mixing both storylines to make just one. Because if they went really...
It would be really cute if they married each other and then Barry dies before Isis gives birth, and then they just call the new
Iris or Isis.
Wally West, whatever. Isis gives birth. Isis. They all fucking suck. Anyway, no, that was really good with Detective. Oh, what? God damn it, my brain. Well, Detective West and Captain Lance. That was nice.
Yeah.
And that.
Cisco getting Laurel as a picture of Canary.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was like the most fanboy thing.
He's gonna put that in his spank bank.
Oh shit.
He's putting that in his spank bank.
Cisco's the most believably well-written character on the show.
Oh, he is. Other than
like, and every T-shirt he wears is like, yep, he lives it, breathes it, eats
That's
it.
Like
it's it.
They had a thing where they had a shirt from him. It said Bazinga on it on his show, and then they had a thing on like Big Bang Theory. They had a shirt that says Cisco said is like all of his like names for superheroes. So apparently they exist in each other's universe.
Yeah, you can have fun with it. Why not enjoy it? I hate the Big Bang Theory.
I know you hate the show.
Absolutely.
Let's not talk about it. I like the show. They're just like us. Except way more intelligent on the universe. That's all I gotta say. Just like me and you.
Written is to be more intelligent on the universe.
They are. But anyway.
Yeah, have Neil deGrasse Tyson come on that show and kick all their asses.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay.
And bring in Michio Kaku while you're
anything else on Flash?
Well,
they found what's his name's little room.
And they saw the Reverse Flash costume.
And they saw the article too.
Barry disappearing in
2024. So I'm curious as to what happened. And what's her name saw it too. That was the big one for me. The fact that what's her name saw it.
Well, it's about time she got on board because everyone else knows he's an asshole. She's like, oh, I still love him.
I'm surprised.
I'm gonna go to his house and Oh my god. Come on. Oh, that was the other thing that irritated me about
What's that?
Writing her to be so stupid as to go knock on his fucking door after someone warned her that he was dangerous. Yeah. What did she think was going to happen? Like, that literally would have been her death had Barry not shown up. She'd have been dead.
Yeah.
End of story. We need a new hot chick in the cast. I'm just saying.
You're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong. Can't wait for this week's episode, though. The team up. Yeah, Adam, Flash, Firestorm, and Oliver.
That's this week?
Oh, yeah.
I thought All-Star Team Up was 2 weeks ago. No, it was last week. When the
that was just 2. Well, the Adam's coming again.
I don't hate the dude. I really don't.
Who? Adam?
Yeah. I don't hate him.
I actually think it's more realistic than what Iron Man was. The only reason I'm going to say that is Iron Man didn't go through any growing pains when he was fighting. That's what I mean by that. Adam's going through all the growing pains of not knowing how to fight with the suit, making sure that no one can access the power from the outside of the suit, flying. Like, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. in the movie was just making it, and all of a sudden he sees this crisis. I'm going to throw the suit on. Now I know how to operate everything. Let's go. And he's very good at it all of a sudden. This is more realistic in my opinion. I understand why they sped it up. It's just to get the movie going, but even you got to admit that's kind of
a little bit ostentatious, don't you think?
A little bit.
Well, what was I thinking, sir? Throw a little Hot Rod Red in there. Perfect, sir. They'll never see you coming. It's like the best. I love that movie.
But even you got to admit they just really sped it up.
Well, they had to.
Rather than
it was a movie.
You're really seeing how. What word I don't want to say. Not innocent, but oblivious. What's his name is to what he's actually doing.
Yeah, he has no idea.
Yeah,
he thought it was going to be.
Wait till he came across a real criminal prior to fighting Ollie.
Yeah, no clue.
And Oliver let him live. Another villain would just kill him on the spot.
Well, but that's another thing you get with building a series as opposed to building a character in a 2-hour, 12-minute movie.
Sure. I mean,
you gotta speed through it a little bit. You gotta cut out some shit.
I understand. I'm just saying it's a little more realistic of all the growing pains that he's going. Ray Palmer's going through rather than what
Tony went through.
Yeah, Tony Stark. Which I'm sure they're in the comic book. They have that. There's that whole series of fuck ups he had learning how to operate the suit, every part of the suit, having everything controlled by Jarvis, so on and so forth. So.
God bless Jarvis. I can't wait to see him become the Vision. That's going to be so awesome.
That will be cool. That will be cool.
It
is in this movie.
That's the end of The Flash, kids.
It's into The Flash, and we're on to Gotham.
Gotham
next, and Gotham.